Good evening, Therapy Army. This is your host for the evening, Jarvis Cocker. With me tonight, I have Tom Journalist One. Nuruddin will be joining us very soon, but he's not around, so he will be here in, I would say, 5 minutes. So in the beginning, you just have to do with me and Tom. So Tom, how are you doing, my friend? I would say 5 minutes. So
I'm doing quite well. I hope everybody else is doing well for the army. As
nice.
always, yeah. If we've healed up from the battle scars at the weekend. But
There is
and
man
by
of the
magic,
hour.
Houdini himself has appeared. Mr. Dino.
Big up, people. Thanks, Jarvis. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. We didn't even get to go live. We've been live for 10 seconds, so we
I didn't
didn't
even
miss
ask
anything.
how Jarvis is doing. How are you doing, Jarvis?
Hey, well, thank you for asking, Tom. I'm good. I'm a little bit
How's Prague?
rusty in my voice because I've been to Prague this weekend, having a good time. But back to life, back to reality, and Man United lost again. So I bet you we are going to talk about the game and what happened, because I'm really interested, because I haven't really got to catch up. I've seen the game, but only the rerun. So it is what it is, but I think I have a clear view of what really happened. But I'm interested hearing your point on it. So you want to go, Nuruddin, or
Tom, let Tom go first. We're just
Okay.
starting out a couple of things.
Yeah, okay. So Tom, what I saw from the game was there was high press, high risk, high reward football from both sides. I think Liverpool were better because they were more compact, more higher up the pitch, and much more aggressive than we were during certain moments of the game, I would say. And they punished us really well. They set up traps, so and they figured us out, and we didn't know what to do when we were surrounded, because they hunted us down like a pack of wolves sometimes. Put us under pressure, and they target us in the right areas where we were with our back against the goal, and we're not good shielding the ball, especially Casemiro, but even a player like Mainu had big problems. You saw it on the third goal. So, but I heard today now a lot of people are wanting Ten Hag out. We have the Ten Hag out debate again. Everybody's calling him tactical. What do you call it? Useless.
Inept.
Yeah, inept. Inept is the right word. But for me, I just want to say tonight I will be here, and I will try my best to defend Ten Hag. I will take the role as the Ten Hag defender when it comes to tactics. You can laugh at me if you like. I have prepared some things.
He's got the statements. He's got the spreadsheets.
Yeah, but I got my spreadsheets, and I want to show you what I mean. I'm not trying to die on the Ten Hag hill, but it's not all bad.
I think you're dying. I think we'll get into it, but I think you're dying.
Prague's got to his head, mate. Prague's got to his head. He's come back a new man.
Let's just try it. I want to have a debate and hear what you
think.
100%.
The debate needs to be had. Yeah. The debate needs to be had.
So is Boumbaye joining us? I see people in the chat are saying, bring back Boumbaye. Where is that guy? He's not joining us tonight.
No, if he's joining us. Well, I'll check with him.
Nice.
But yeah,
we haven't said hi to the Therapy Army either. There's so many legends in the house. I see Solon Jr., Lee Sparks, elite ballers in the house doing his moderating as usual. Sheikh Arian is bringing up a lot of news. I see a lot of news about Dean Ashford, about Casemiro, about Eriksen. So do you want me to go through the latest first before we start, Nuruddin? Or
yeah. Go ahead.
So the latest news I see here, there's something about Eriksen today. I will just bring it up for you to see. I just want to present it, share the screen, blah, blah, blah. And here we go. So this is what we saw today with Eriksen. Real Betis had an approach for Man United for Christian Eriksen on the last minute target ahead of deadline day. But there was no chance of a move. There was no agreement on the player and the club side, but Real Betis tried. So no formal bid was sent even by Ajax to Man United. So how I interpret this is Eriksen didn't want to leave. He wasn't ready to go to Real Betis. Tom, is Is that shocking, or is it what we have been talking about all summer long? Players won't leave. They're happy at Man United.
Of course they're happy. I'd be happy if I was sat here on a decent wage. I think he's on more than 100 grand a week. He sits on the bench. He barely features, guys. Even when he does feature, I mean, if we're going to face facts, right, we didn't buy Ericsson to be mobile or for quickness. We bought him for the creativity, set pieces. If you need somebody to unlock a game, maybe when you're 70 minutes, last bit of the game, you want another midfielder on. That's what we brought Ericsson in for.
Yeah.
We knew Age wasn't going to be on his side when we brought him in, but he was a free agent, so it made sense at that time to do it. But look, we've been burnt with players and stuff in the past before. If I'm not mistaken, I think Real Betis ends up getting Lo Celso from Spurs back on loan in the end, so they ended up going for a different player anyway. And I'd probably argued said he got the better deal out of it if they went for a player like that than Ericsson at this stage of his career. But well, it's one of them. We've said it before, and we're probably going to say it until we're blue in the face. Players just don't leave this club unless either they get a payoff or there's a better opportunity or a bigger club for them to leave to. That's just how this club is, either by tradition or just by the actual money that we blow out on players. And at the end of the day, we're in this cycle. You could only argue maybe the players that we've signed this summer breaks that cycle because we're not giving out ridiculous wages. So if a couple of the players that we've bought this summer don't work out, it's not the end of the world for the future when we sell players, because you can offload it to another club because of the wages. Same thing with Xerxes, Ugarte, Lenny Euro. If it doesn't work out, you can offload these players. But Ineos, they've had to inherit a lot of shit, if we're being honest. And you can't flog a dead horse. You really can't. So listen, you can be the greatest salesman in the world, but you can't sell Harry Maguire for probably more than £25 million, reasonably speaking. Ericsson, I don't even know what would you say that we'd get from guys? What, 10 million? Maybe not even that. Five. This is what I'm saying. So you're not going to make massive gains on these players to take them somewhere else anyway. So when we're facing facts of it, I think all of us here we want to get rid of players like Ericsson, maybe Casemiro, Maguire, Lindelof, but you're not going to get, £30 million a pop for each of those players, like we all would want to. And maybe a couple of years ago, you might have got £30 million for a lot of those players that we're saying about. But with how the market is nowadays and with how shit we are, and the culture at the football club is so low at the moment in time, just because of how results have been, but also because of the way that we've not necessarily been successful at the highest level in the last couple of seasons. How do you sell players that have never been in a title race before to other rival clubs? You can't do it. So, look, the way I look at the Ericsson thing is it's just one of those more bumps in the road. And look, Ericsson, I think, what has he got, guys? 12 months in his contract. Probably leave at the end of the season on a free. Lindelof's in the same boat. Leave on a free. These players, they'll just leave somewhere else. And as soon as they leave somewhere else, you can already tell the agents are going to advise these players, listen, sit tight at United for a year. You're comfortably on a wage. And you'll get that sign-on bonus at another club, which is more than what you'll get if you just was to sign for another club and you get sold from the club that you're at. So it's a perfect PR and financial move from his agent. And listen, I've got nothing against Christian Eriksen. He's done his best in the United shirt, but age is not with him. So what can you do? You can't really blame the fucking guy. He's crocked. He's crocked to fuck. But aren't most of our players?
Yeah, the thing is, Ericsson, I think he's a good player, but we all know he lost his legs, so there's nothing more to gain from him. I think he can do good coming in for 5 to 10 minutes, just seeing off a game. I think his strengths are his tempo, dictating the game, and he actually has one attribute that no one else has in this team, and that's a good pass more than 5 yards. We saw it with Casemiro during the game, and we struggle with that. Maybe Ugarte has it in his locker, but I don't think so. I haven't seen it yet, but we will see. We will see. Speaking of Casemiro, there's some other news on Casemiro tonight. Also, I will bring that up while we are talking. let me just add it to the stage. And here we see that Galatasaray are in talks with Man United on a loan deal for Casemiro for 1 year, according to I think it was a lot of Graham Bailey was talking about it, and Turkish news also reporting the same. So, do you think Casemiro loan deal to Galatasaray is a good deal for us? Can we replace him
I
now?
don't.
The window is closed.
Well, we can't replace him, not unless you scout the free agent market. But the only thing that I worry about if we did do a deal like this, I don't personally think that it will happen. But if we did do a deal like this, he's on what, guys? He's nearly 400,000 a week at Manchester United. I bet Galatasaray don't probably pay a player over 150 grand a week, and that's the highest valued player.
Yeah.
So they ain't going to cover probably half of his wages. So we're basically just going to let him decrease his value in an underwhelming league somewhere else, and we're still going to have to pay probably half of his wage package. For that, you might as well just keep him at Man United. At least, if he might play maybe 5-10 games of a season, it might not be so bad. But I can understand everybody's reaction. I'm exactly the same. I don't think Casemiro has a long-term future at this club. I didn't think he did when he first signed. I thought he might go a good 18 months, 2 years, and bon voyage and see you later. And that'll be that. But look, Casemiro's in the same boat as Eriksen. He's got nowhere to go, guys. He's on a brilliant wage. His agent will just say to him, listen, sit there, Cass. Sit there. If Saudi don't come in for you, mate, sit there comfortably for 2-3 years. We'll get on a sign-on bonus to a Saudi Arabian club. We'll be, you can't really say millionaire. He might even be a billionaire player at the end of his contract. But it's another one of those old regime habits. What can you do? They're not masterminds. They can't find these players a club from somewhere, and then the player has to agree to go to that club.
No.
Do I think Cass is going to jump ship from when he's been on a trajectory from Real Madrid to Man United to then Galatasaray? It doesn't really make sense. The Saudi thing made sense if he wanted to cash out on his career. I don't really see what interest does he have to go to Turkey, guys. I don't really see.
No.
I don't see the traction. Not for me, anyway.
But we have read this there now. We heard that Osimhen is going to Turkey, so maybe they're building up the league now. Mourinho is there. There's a lot of big high names.
Yeah. To be fair, they've got a couple of profile players. Like they took Zaha there. I know he's gone to. I think it's Lyon, isn't it? France, I think he's going to France. Yeah. Ziyech is in that league as well. So there's a couple of players in that league that are well rated. European players anyway. Look, Eriksen, if he wants, like we've just been discussing there, guys, if Eriksen wants to go to Turkey, it's brilliant for him. The style of the league, if he wants to dictate play and the tempo of it, it'd be brilliant in one of those teams. But the problem that we have at this moment in time is with Cass, he just doesn't have the mobility to play in the Premier League. And especially in midfield, it doesn't matter what position you play in midfield, guys. If you don't have mobility, you're going to struggle in this league. Let me tell you, it's an unforgiving league, and it destroys careers at the end of it.
Yeah.
So you either have the longevity of your career, which is that you don't get injured and you can play on forever, or you're going to completely lose your legs by the end of your career. All I'm going to say is, when players come to this league, you can't come to the Premier League and retire. It's not a league that you come to retire to. It's a league that you stay in. It's probably the biggest league that you join, the first big league that you ever join, and you stay here for like 10 years. You can't retire in this league because this league will retire you. That's the difference. And I think that's what Casemiro is experiencing right now.
Yeah, I agree, and I think for me, I think Casemiro is not the right player at the DM, the number 6 position for us at the moment. We see struggles when it comes to just the pure tempo. Is not good enough on the ball, shielding the ball, playing the ball. I think it's more of a destroyer in a way, breaking up play. I think that's his strong side, and I think he likes to go forward. He's not very disciplined in a way. He doesn't sniff out the danger in the right way. We saw this. We saw, for example, with Amrabat last season, the last 4 games of the season. He's a much more consistent DM. He knows he can sniff out the danger when it comes and be at the right place at the right time. Casemiro is not that type, and he needs baller around him to dictate the tempo, to play the passes. He can tackle and win the ball and play it to Casemiro, no to Cruz and Modric, as he did in Real Madrid. Then he was fantastic. So I don't know. You think we can utilize him this season in a good way, or do you think Ten Hag don't have a clue how to do it?
Go on, Dino, you answer it.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it. Actually, let's get into it. You make the case first, Jarvis. But I'd say I'm not blaming any player, even though I did call him Kazinap. Specifically on Sunday, I was at the game. I watched it. Ground level, not from above, but ground level. Bit up actually, so I could see the imagine there's a chessboard. You could see the chessboard.
Yeah.
And on this game, this game exposes Ten Hag more than any other game that I've seen. More than any other game. And I can't wholeheartedly, after being at the game, genuinely blame any player on that football pitch. The players were doing as they were told to do. They were doing as they were told to do, positionally where to be, how to be, and the manager for 95 minutes sat there and did fuck all about it. And from the first 2 to 3 minutes, they were setting traps already. Contrast that the way they play in midfield. Oh, people, don't worry. I bought the receipts. I've got the receipts on my Twitter right now. I've got all the photos because I came back from the game and I watched the game and I'm there taking photos. That's the new thing now. That's what Eric Ten Hag has forced me for some of you people to see, other than being sheep, for you to see the fucking clownish tactics this manager tries to employ. Liverpool came very narrow, central. Usually, Salah would go high and wide. Diaz will go high and wide. You didn't see Diaz high and wide. Jota, Szoboszlai supporting him, moving together, hunting in 2s, 3s, 4s. You saw it. It was like lambs to the fucking slaughter. For the people at the back, lambs to the slaughter. You sent your team out there to be carved open again and again and again. And then you know what they started to do? They started to do panic mode. For the first time ever, I saw, for me, Lisandro Martinez is probably the worst game in a Manchester United shirt. And he's one of my favorite players that we've signed since Fergie. But the general of the game plan of Ten Hag, he got concussed. Hold tight, Musa. Got absolute concussion because how he said the game plan was going to be. Liverpool totally ripped it up. And what makes it worse, I don't know if you saw it, Jarvis. You must have been in Prague with a bit of a sore head after your night out, which we will not begrudge you of that, brother. We will not begrudge you of that. But Arne Slot came on Sky in front of the whole world TV audience and broke it down in less than 1 minute 30, and said, "We know that they don't play like the way they were played last season. We know that they're playing this 1-1-1-1 in midfield, in this kind of like a box, and we knew where to get the ball, and we knew we could go direct to goal." So the opposing manager broke it down. So for me, it's simple. We need to save these players. But I actually think these players are going to have to start doing their own thing when they got on the pitch. Because genuinely, the players will have to start doing their own thing because listening to this clown, and what happens, like anything, if you ever, I don't know if any of you played spot But even in a basic Saturday, Sunday league level, you would lose confidence in your coach and your manager. You lose confidence in them. When you get battered and humiliated like that, you lose confidence. But then to scapegoat Casemiro. Oh boy, oh boy. Who put Casemiro in those positions? Who told Casemiro to be between the two centre-halves and playing it out? Who told him to? Who turned him, a guy who's not a number 6 ball player, into a number 6 ball player? That's not his game. That's not his game. If you've ever watched Casemiro, it's always been tight spaces. He wins the ball back. He'll dive. That's why I call him Casinap. He'll do anything to win the ball back and then go. So, I'm not blaming, even though I do think that in English football it's become really difficult for him. And for me, Sunday proved to me, without all my suspicions and I never said it out loud, but Eric Ten Hag's tactics do not work in, week out of the Premier League. The data is in. It will never work because you'll get picked off. I'm just going to see if my cat is coming in. One second. Let's go then.
Did you see the same game, Tom, or do you agree with Nuruddin in his assessment?
Well, I said my thoughts. I was saying the other day. I know you were no jobs with him, but I remember feeling clear. I've always been one to give Eric Ten Hag another chance. They reinvested in him, albeit I don't think they fully backed him, because if they fully backed him, they'd have given him a new contract. They just triggered the extension and said, there's another 12 months, Eric. There's a little bit of faith. But look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This wasn't their guy. Everybody knows the person that they realistically wanted, which was Thomas Tuchel. They met him, they spoke to him, they flew him out to Monaco, they wined and dined, and clearly they just, both of the plans didn't add up. So there was no agreement. So then they ran back off to Ibiza, straight from Monaco, begged Ten Hag to stay, put a contract in front of him, and just say, look, we're going to extend you by 12 months. Here's an extra, say, naught on your contract. Stay, please. That's it. That's not somebody who has a lot of integrity for me. But even in terms of the game itself, Liverpool, for me, I don't think they were brilliant, but they didn't have to be brilliant. People were praising this Liverpool team and saying that they were brilliant, they were pissing around with the ball and everything. Yeah, they were pissing about with it, fine. But if you want to really put the mud into people, put the ball in the back of the net a bit more. That's what I would say. But from 3-0 down, the whole game was the open wide spaces again. And don't get me wrong, I'll give him that first 5-10 minutes. All of us on here, me and Dino, everybody, we gave him that first 10 minutes in that game. There was a bit of intensity, there was a bit of spite, a bit of bite, but it just went. As soon as that first goal went in that got disallowed from Liverpool with Trent, it was just as if they fell apart.
That was in the first 3 minutes or 4 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. We've seen this story before against Liverpool. We did the same thing. We carved out a brilliant first half at Anfield, guys. And then we lose the game 7-0 at full time. I just don't understand how these things can happen. The same thing with the Brighton game, where you can't see games out. You can't keep a defensive line. There's no defensive structure to it. And we've said this so many times when we've discussed about Manchester United, that we need a DM that can protect the back line. Listen, I don't think that back four that played at the weekend, I honestly don't think a lot of them played bad. Martinez, I think, probably had his worst game. Dillett, I thought, played well, to be fair. Mazraoui, I thought he didn't have a brilliant game, but I don't think he was terrible. Delo, again, I don't think it was terrible. The whole midfield just does not work. We had the same problem last season, and we're having the same problem now. The midfield just doesn't work, and the attack, it doesn't score enough goals. And it's not that you don't, and I always say this, guys, you don't need a 30-man goal scorer in your team to make sure that you score goals, because you should have attackers that spread those goals out along a whole season. 10, 15 numbers for each of them. That makes up the same numbers and more than what 130 plus goal strike will get you in a season. So for me, when I look at the way that the game went completely wrong, the tactics of how he sets up our team, there's still that open wide spaces. He's had all summer to work on a plan to get rid of this and to stop this. And as much as I want to give Eric Ten Hag the slight benefit of the doubt, I can't. One player in Agate is not going to come in and suddenly plug all these holes and gaps. He's just going to be as exposed as Casemiro. The only difference is he will be able to get around the pitch better than Casemiro, so he won't be as bad, or he won't look as bad. But the spaces are still going to be there because of the tactics that he employs. And this myth that a style of play is going to come along and that. Gary Neville made me piss myself with a comment that he made about Ten Hag and saying that he's going to suddenly stumble upon a style of play, or he hopes that the team stumble upon it. I'm sorry, you don't stumble upon a style of play. You've either got it or you don't. And what I saw, and I'm going to make this last point anyway, lads, when he first came into this club, those first 2 games, Brighton and Brentford, I saw the style of play that he wanted. I saw it. But he lost both games embarrassingly, and he abandoned what he believed football should be played like. He abandoned it. If you're an elite manager, no matter what, if you're going through the shits of it, if you're losing games, if it's what you believe in, and it's the way that you believe football should be played, and gets you the best results, you play that way. And he abandoned it after 2 games. So for me, I've never seen a style of play from this manager consistent that has A, got us results, and B, do you know something? That we're not even having to have a debate if we have one or not. You should know, you shouldn't even have to have a debate if you've got a style of play or not. Everybody should be able to look at a football game and see it, whether it's on telly or in the stadium. But for me, the tactics are just all over the place. And when you're in the 3rd season, Jarvis, and at the end of the day, cook something up now then for me, Ten Hag. You've got a couple of weeks, you've got 2 weeks now, international break. Show me something different after it. But do I believe that he's gonna? Probably not, no. But he might win against Southampton and Barnsley, and suddenly you'll have all the top Reds on his asses again, saying that Man United are back. But if you want to say that Manchester United are back, if he wants to save his job, abandon this 3-1-6 bollocks, because it ain't ever going to work in this league. Go on, Jarvis, anyway.
Yeah. But the tactics, we all talk about tactics, but let's just break it down. You know, everybody's talking about the 3-1-6. It's not a 3-1-6. It's a 3 and a diamond. And sometimes you move up the 2 on this side to create an overload against the 2 DMs. That was the thing we were trying to against Liverpool. We were trying to overload the 2 DMs, McAllister and Gravenberch.
Can I ask you a question though, Jarvis?
We couldn't get the ball to them. So the game plan, there's nothing wrong with the game plan per se. It's
the execution.
That's the thing.
The players, Liverpool had a better game executed.
Yes.
And that the reason why that is because the man-for-man stuff that he's trying to do, their physicality was way better.
Yeah.
And they pluck up the gaps more. Robertson did not move. You didn't see Robertson bumming on, whipping balls in. You didn't see Trent doing that. They played narrow, and they destroyed us narrow.
But Liverpool played with an extreme high line. Their centre backs was on the front foot. Yeah. They were ready to jump. They were even 10 meters on our pitch, half side, and they jumped. And they jumped on our, But Liverpool also play with one holding. Gravenberch moved up in the 8-10, and then McAllister were all alone, but he had 3 defenders around him because they had such a high line. I'm going to show you.
I saw it different, Jarvis. I've got the.
Yeah, but I can show you differently because I also have pictures prepared. So that will be interesting.
So you go first.
Yeah, okay. I can. We can do the high line. We can start with the high line.
They can afford to do the high line, by the way, because they're very good in possession. They trust each other with the football. Their movements were good.
Okay, so let's start with this segment. This is a segment where they were attacking us. We won the ball. So you see here in the yellow dot, Bruno wins the ball. So this is the first picture. Liverpool are attacking with a lot of men, and we are defending. That's okay. So in the next picture, here Bruno plays the ball forward. He carries the ball. But what I see is Josh Xerxes. He's way too deep. So we have no one in attack. What we did in the first game against Fulham, we had two runners. We had Rashford and Garnacho or Diallo running and stretching the opposition, so they had to track back. But we have nothing now. We have Xerxes in the middle, and Bruno is carrying the ball into nothingness because there's no one to play the ball to. The only option he has is Josh Xerxes.
No,
This
he
is
doesn't.
Van Dijk. You see Van Dijk? I put a yellow
I'm sorry,
line.
Jarvis. I'm sorry, Jarvis. He's actually doesn't even need to turn this way. Rashford just needs to make the run here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Trent, if that's
Rashford
Trent,
is here, but Rashford
yeah.
is not. He's not running. He's not
Well-
running full sprint.
well,
Why?
that's
I don't know.
the tactic. That's the tactic.
No,
and you see
no.
it. No,
We have
no,
seen it hundreds of
that's
times
the
that
tactic.
Rashford bumps on when he can,
Yeah,
but not today
But-
or not
but-
this game.
In this, everybody needs to be closer together. They want to play different football, and I was there and I saw it. Rashford was not even. If he gave Rashford the ball there, he was never going to try to beat him. Instead, he would always come inside to look in midfield. But anyway,
But
you
this
see
is
this.
this
Why
is
you
a
just
lot.
show me? No, go back.
No.
No, go back. No, go back 1 second. Go back to the original one. Go back to the original one. Go back to the other one. The other one, the one that where Bruno's on the ball. Where Bruno's on the ball. No, the other one.
Yeah, that one.
Right here.
Yeah,
Look,
this is the one.
This is the perfect way to defend. So you always have +1 in defending. The way you're coached, always have +1. So Van Dijk is here. These are. He looks like he might engage, but he's watching Rashford. He looks like if Bruno comes in here, he'll engage, and then Robertson is in charge of Xerxes. Right. So always +1. Always +1. That's how you defend. Liverpool game plan perfect there. Even in that transition, they were
you see
defending
here,
perfect.
this is McAllister all alone.
Yeah.
Rest of their midfielders are up here, so
But he
they
doesn't
also
need-
play
yeah.
with
No,
the three.
but they've got
linemen.
4 at the back. Yes,
They've
but
got four, yeah.
4 at the back.
No,
They're
because
not 2 at the back.
you have Trent here tracking Rashford. Yeah, in this picture, but he
And then
didn't
Robinson.
do that all
And
the
look
time.
how deep Robinson is. Robinson usually
Yes.
would be, Jarvis, would be here. I don't know if you can see the cursor. No, here towards that direction where they're to whip the ball in. Robertson will not be there. That's Arne's slot because he understands Manchester United tactics sometimes is to play in a quick transition and +1. Their defense will be perfect.
Nordin, my point is Xerxes. Xerxes is the guy who's wrong here. We need a vocal point. We talked about the focal point up top after the last game, after the loss against Brighton. We didn't have a vocal point, so they could press us high. And we see the same thing now. Van Dijk, this is Liverpool's back line. You have Konate, you have Van Dijk, you have Robertson. You look at how high they are on our pitch when we are attacking. McAllister is all alone as the central midfielder, but he has defenders around him. We have no one. Xerxes shouldn't be here. He should be up here stretching Van Dijk. But Van Dijk is on the front foot. And you see the rest of the guys. You have Casemiro, we have Mainu. They are jogging, want the ball. Give me the ball. You see Casemiro is holding his hands up. So this is something wrong with how we do. We usually don't do this. When we have Mason Mount, when we have Ahmad, when we have Rashford, usually they bomb on.
Can I ask you a question, Jarvis? Right.
But I'm sorry, Jarvis. Jarvis. I'm not going to let you get away with this one on a technicality.
No, it's not a technicality. I'm just telling you what happened. This is a big problem.
The road runner is Garnacho. Garnacho is the road runner, but it's not in your picture. Garnacho is the road runner. So he played the 2 road runners, which is Garnacho and Rashford. Both of them he started. So Xerxes being blamed, I'm not having it. The 2 road runners, usually for him, are the 2 wide guys. And Bruno plays that ball. But the tactic has changed.
But this is the picture. Bruno plays the ball into Xerxes. Look at Van Dijk. He's jumping. He's jumping on. Look at this space. Look at this space. We could have.
Where is the run? Where is Garnacho? Where is Garnacho to make the run here?
Garnacho here. This is Garnacho.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I'm just telling you, this is the way the manager wanted. The manager wanted to play. He told them to play like this. They're not do. When I was at the game, I did not see anything the manager's not asked these players to do. Because you would come in the touchline and go, "What the fuck are you doing? Get there! Get there! What are you doing? Come on!" Well, we want the ball there. But he didn't. He sat in his seat. He came out towards when we went 3-0 down,
Yeah.
and he started shouting some instructions. I was watching him. In my phone, you can close. My phone is one of these Ultra 21 Samsung. You can zoom in.
Yeah.
And I was watching him.
But for me,
So I'm sorry.
my
blaming
point
Xerxes.
is Nureddin. Xerxes should have been higher up. He should have split the
No,
three
we've done that
defenders
type- we've not
and
bought
pushed
him.
them back.
We've not
Xerxes
bought-
should have created this space for the rest of the team, or we should have runners to.
No, but guys.
So there's
If
two
we're
options
basing
there.
if we're
but we
basing
do
it off of
neither.
what if we're basing it
Jarvis,
off of this image, if we base it off of this image here, lads, right? When you look at where the ball's being played to Xerxes now, right?
Mhm.
When we see the space that's been left in behind there,
Yeah.
what you would normally, if this was Liverpool, if let's flip the switch here. If
Yes.
this is Liverpool who have the
Yes.
ball here, right? That's a
Diaz
normal.
or
That's
Salah.
that's like a Diaz or a Firmino sort of position, where years ago he used to pick the ball really deep, and then you used to have the wide players in Mane and Salah who used to just
Yes.
split inside. The
Yes.
problem we have, right? If you look at Rashford, he's halfway over on the touchline.
Mhm.
Garnacho, as a wide player, when we're talking about systems and tactics, guys, transitional football, or if you want to use transitional football, right, wingers are in line dueling with each other. The reason why is it creates the width, so then the spaces hold up in midfield because you have to have two players mark them, which will probably be the fullbacks. The problem that I say with this is, right, when Ten Hag wants to bomb on fullbacks, why do you need to bomb on both of them at the same time? Inverted football, when we use Pep's
Yes.
inverted system, right? Pep brought this into the game in the last 2 years, this inverted system where you either have a centre back going or you have a fullback going. We cannot have, there is no system out there that I've seen a manager have success with where he has both fullbacks invert inside and you just have two central defenders sit there on their own. And when you see how many times Liverpool braked on us at the weekend, the same thing, the Salah goal was the easiest one of the lot. Because when you have 4 against 2, and Liverpool had the best transitional team, I think, that in the last probably 5 years in all of Europe, what are you going to expect when the odds are like that against you, 4v2? And at the end of the day, the tracking runners, what we're just talking about there, where Casemiro doesn't have the legs to track players anymore, Ugarte will only just add to that. But you're still outnumbered, guys, 3-4.
Yep.
Whereas what Liverpool did, where you had that first screenshot of Jarvis, with where McAllister was that spare man, they had that 4-man system, and it just rotated all along the pitch, game in, game out. The problem with us is, we as fans, right, we all agree that defensively we need an extra man at the back. I don't care, it doesn't matter who it is, a midfielder, a fullback, a wide player, you just need somebody else to sit a little bit deeper in, and you're not going to have that massive gaping hole there. Yes, it's going to compromise you in an attacking sense. But if you hold the width with two identical wide players who understand wingercraft, as I call it, where you invert inside and you make inverted runs, if you have two of the same player on either wing, which we had that in that Fulham game, guys, we had Rashford and we had Diallo. They was on the same width length in terms of inverting inside and running at players. The problem that we had with Garnacho in this game was Garnacho's not started the game all season, has he, guys? If we're facing facts, he's made an appearance off the bench. I don't think. He started this game. Yes, the difference is Garnacho is a player you bring on at when you have 20 minutes to go. Players' legs are burnt, and you need a goal. That's where Garnacho in that breakout season, guys, we gave him so much praise. He's going to take time to adapt to a first team player. Rashford took time to do it. Ahmad's taking a couple of times to do it right now. My question that I was going to put to you, Jarvis, is if we are talking about this as a tactical issue, when we want to transition with that last screenshot you had when Xerxes was getting the ball, why is Diallo not on the pitch instead of Garnacho? Because Diallo, with football mind and knowledge, guys, players like Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden, who are we consider as wired up similar to how Diallo is, they would make that run into the open space through the middle as an inverted run because they understand where the spaces are in football. Us, when we look at that, the only place that you're going to have players run into that space is your wingers. Rashford, I don't know why, and I agree with what Nurin says, I don't understand why he's not running at players anymore. His game was always get the ball, run 10 yards at a player and beat them. He doesn't do it anymore.
But-
I don't
Tom,
know
Tom,
why.
my case is because people are on Ten Hag's back and say it's his tactics. But this is what we did against Fulham. This is Fulham. I don't know if
Yeah,
you can
go on.
see this. Xerxes
Yeah, I can see
is coming inside, wanting the ball. We have runners here. We have I think it's Rashford and Garnacho is
Rashford, yeah.
here. So both of them are
No, it'd be
stretching
Ahmed
the
on the other
defense.
side, I think. But yeah.
You see, they are stretching the defense, leaving a big gap for Xerxes to drop into. This is Ten Hag's tactics from the first game, and now in the third game, it's a whole different tactics.
I
So for
understand
me,
that,
I'm not saying we can't say Ten Hag's tactics is wrong when he obviously wants to do something
when
different.
we look at this,
Then it's
though,
on the personnel
when
and the
you look at
execution.
Fulham, right? Who is Stu, our friend Stuart?
Yeah.
Who is his favourite player that used to play in that Fulham team? Paulinho. They have lost that player, and when you just said there about that back three setup there that Fulham had, that's 3 players. 3.
Yeah.
Liverpool, in the game that they played against us, had 4. They had the extra man. Paulinho, if he was still a Fulham player, would have been in that back 4 system in place, and that makes Fulham a lot harder to break down. Whereas you look at Fulham now, this season without him, you can play through them. There's the spaces to do it. We exposed that in the first game. The spaces are there.
I don't
Paulinho adds
entirely
that
agree, Tom,
protection.
because when you see the picture, you see here that Fulham have 3 defenders. They have the DM, and on the far left, they have the extra man, as same as Alexander Arnold is in the Liverpool picture. And when you see here, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 Fulham defenders plus the DM. So they have
midfield,
4. They have an extra man.
Yeah. The extra man, though, isn't coming from midfield, is what I'm saying to you, Jarvis. A midfielder should be in and around that centre circle. There's not one Fulham central midfielder there. Liverpool, a system for Klopp, Slot, any manager that they've worked with in the last 10 years, between Klopp and Slot, they have system players where they have at least 2 midfielders who are 5 yards away from that centre circle. That's the reason why Liverpool's systems, in terms of pressing triggers, always works, because they're 5 yards within every player on a pitch. And what it is, like when you brought that picture up where Van Dijk's diving in, like Usain Bolt, the difference is, as soon as Van Dijk dives in, somebody covers his position. And then when McAllister wants to press on a player, Konate will come over and he'll move over into his position. And it's almost like a trifecta. They back each other up in every single position, because that's how proper teams who are tactically astute and understand each other's games, they know where to cover each other. Us, and my point that I say when we look at us defensively, guys, is when Martinez lunges in on a player, who has he got right now as a partnership that he understands who can cover his position? De Ligt is probably the best placed one because he knows him better than anybody right now. But when De Ligt's position's compromised then, because he wants to track a player or wants to move off the player, who do we then look at then? You can't look at Mazraoui or you can't look at Shaw or Deleu. They're bombing forward. They're doing bombing runs for Ten Hag up the other end of the field. And this is what I'm saying when we look at a defensive structure. You can have 3 players sit at the back, that's fine. But you need an extra spare man. And the only thing that I'm going to say is if he wants to look at what he has now with Ugarte has to do what McAllister did for Liverpool in this game, which is drop off, be the spare man. He's not going to carry the ball for you. He's not going to spray the ball around 50, 60-yard passes. He is going to screen and track that back line and just track any midfield player that comes within 5 yards of him. That's what you need Ugarte to do. And if you want to use him in the right way, Ugarte, for that particular role that I'm saying there, is going to work. But you have to compromise one of the fullbacks bombing on forward to allow it to work. Because if not, you are going to have the same problem that you just seen against Liverpool, which is you have 4 players running at 3. Or in our case, what we had for that Salah goal, 2.
2, yeah.
You cannot allow that at the highest level of football. And it doesn't take an idiot. I'm not a tactician of football, right? But when you bring up a couple of graphs and you screenshot the image, guys, and I hope Ten Hag probably does the exact same thing that we're doing right now. When you analyse the game, right, you cannot sit there, and I don't care, Ruud van Nistelrooy, René Hack, all these people, right, you used to be managers, guys. You should fucking understand this as well, as his assistants. Put some points across to him. You can't sit there and say, if you were the manager of this team, that you think that's right, because it's not. You were his assistants. You were supposed to influence his decisions as well as his assistant. So at the end of the day, when you go to the Southampton game now, guys, Southampton will look at that and think, if we take risks and we put 4 players all on a high press, similar to how Liverpool did in that game, and Manchester United don't start Ugarte in that game, they're going to struggle. Because we will. There won't be another player to track runners. And Southampton, fair enough to their credit, they don't have a lot more quality than what Liverpool have. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But the difference is, it doesn't take a quality side to undo what we have done for large parts of this season, guys. So long as you have players that are mobile and you have wingers, and the Brighton game we said this about, guys, who invert inside. We said about this when we did a Brighton preview, did we not? Matoma, players like that who can just invert inside and skill you and do you for fun. That's the same profile of players that we say we want at our club. That's how we want to play. So the problem that we have right now with Ten Hag, and this is where, Jarvis, if he doesn't change it now, he's never going to. And if he's never going to, Jarvis, he's not going to be a success at this club. Because if you can't understand that you need that extra man at the back, you're going to leak goals for fucking fun for the rest of your time as a manager. And at the same point, at the upper end of the field, if you don't have players who are going to make runs or drift off, and if you want to use wingers or you want to use wing backs who want to drift inside, Jarvis, and do those inverted runs, that's fine. Do an inverted run all the way to the stretch of the end of the defence that you're running at. Mazraoui, yeah, he's not brilliant, guys. He probably won't be able to put the ball in the back of the net. Do a run behind Van Dijk. He's not going to expect a fullback behind him. Do something different, is what I'm saying. Don't just use the same common shit.
But what happened in the halftime? We subbed Casemiro.
Yeah, and put Collier on. Yeah.
Yes.
And the same thing started happening. Same thing, same pattern, same shit started to happen.
Well, not exactly the same. Collier was much better in running in behind. We actually created a couple of
he went into the number 10 position. Other than emptying the midfield.
Well, we had to take more chances because we needed to create. We were 2-0 down and 3-0 down. So that it makes sense in a way.
But we usually, if you're 2-0 down in the game, you try not to concede another goal and leave yourself open. What you will try to do is make the judgment and go, okay, we're going to have to keep it tight and then build our confidence into the game, get our passing right, get the movements right, timings right. Then we'll try to push on, maybe get a goal, but not straight away. To be fair, he got on the ball. Being in the stadium, he wanted to get on the ball and he wasn't afraid to get on the ball. And that to me shows a lot of character. So I'm not dissuading me. It's just the way he was being used, Jarvis. Yeah, and I swear to God, I wish I could have teleported you there because 3-4 so many times where it's 1-1-1 like that. Just like Arne Slot talked about it, 1-1-1. Like, but the distances between our players, fucking humongous.
When a manager,
the basketballification of football came back, and I've got more not heat maps, but player sensors where the positions are, where was emptied, where was it? But go ahead.
Yeah. This is the end of my my pictures. You see here, Xerxes receiving the ball. It's Van Dijk bombing on, and this is from another angle. You see Rashford is here on the right or our left, and Garnacho is on the left. So there's a lot of space, and we're not attacking the space. So this was a big problem in the game, and I think we need to figure out how to use Xerxes in the best way because he won't to be threatening.
They're not in line though, Jarvis. Do you see that though? What I said before about the wide players, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at like how Brighton played against us, right? They're two wingers.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. When you used wide players to your advantage when you transition, Ollie was the best at this, and we said this before, did we not? When we had Rashford on one side, it didn't matter who he had on the other side. Lingard, fucking Pereira, whoever he put out there, Fernandez. They was always in line with one another when they made runs going forward. Because at the end of the day, it occupies two players.
Tom, counter-attacking football is part of Manchester United DNA. Like majority of teams, actually majority of world football, When you have the space, you suck teams in, you win the ball back. You play with wingers or inverted wingers or normal wingers.
But
you
that's
run.
basic stuff,
They
though.
run.
They're not in line with each other. They're not in line with
No,
each other. That's a
I agree.
basic
I
thing
agree.
that needs to be ruled out. And listen. When we're saying about this now, right? With Garnacho, when he gets him at the training ground, when he comes back from the fucking international break or whatever, you have to drill this into this kid. I understand he's a kid. You cannot be not 5 yards within a line within one another. When we think about defensively, right, when you have a back four, they always stay in line with each other so they can control the offside line. And then if they want to push forward, so then they put players offside, they do it. Wingers are the exact same trait in craft. The only player who should go rogue and mobile is a number 9, because he's going to create your spaces in behind if they want to run in behind. Or if they want to drop off, that's where you use your wingers to invert into the number 9 role, where the space has been left by them, because they've dragged the centre-back out. The problem that I'm saying, guys, is Amad Diallo, for the games that I've seen him play, he always holds the line very well. I don't see him get played offside.
Can I just say one thing, Tom?
Often at all.
Can I just say one thing,
And the direct running. Yeah, go
Tom,
on.
can I just say one thing? Jamie, when we don't call people thick bastards, even when we agree with them. No need for that, brother. We just debate them on the, you know what? In this here, we keep it respectful. Like, we disagree, you can have a banter, but come on, let's not get lower to that. And there might be some Liverpool fans in the chat, but no problem. But we don't go down to that level, man. Even if they're saying stuff, you don't say that. But big up to you, though, Jamie. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Nuruddin, I have something else. This is the second goal when Casemiro fell down on his face. So Casemiro has the ball, and I'm just gonna hear this. Do you guys see? This is Casemiro, and it falls down. Look at Xerxes. He's just standing there waiting for the ball. There's no one in attacking this space. You have Rashford on the left.
He's actually giving him an option.
Yeah.
He's giving him an option. He's giving him an option, and he's not playing the ball. And it's a straight ball. It's like nobody's in the way. It's a straight ball.
He looks so casual.
No. Can I say something, Jarvis?
Yeah.
Please understand who I need you to do a bit of research who Xerxes is as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Xerxes was not a player that runs beyond. He's not a guy who plays on the shoulder or defender. Xerxes has always been a guy who comes to the ball. He's a ball player. He is one player in the Bologna team, and wherever he's played, comes to the football. He does not go make massive runs in behind, unless to take a player away, right? Imagine that we're attacking the box and he's running behind somebody, he'll sprint to take a player away. To give the player the more options, the player on the ball. But it's not a guy. He is a connector. So the connector cannot run into any space. He wants to connect the people. So if Casemiro gives him the ball there, maybe he could turn and hit Rashford. Maybe.
Look at Van Dijk. He's like a shark just waiting to bite.
No, 100%. But 100%. But what I'm saying to you is that he's big enough and strong enough. I've seen him hold people off. But he's not the guy to run into spaces. Xerxes is not that player. He's never
you see that's a big problem for our play.
No, it's not. They bought him. They bought him for a reason. So what you're telling me is that Manchester United, with a new structure, Eric Ten Hag as the coach, do not understand the player, what type of player. And then now we're showing things saying, oh, the player should have done this. No, Xerxes is a connector. He connects the play. He's not a guy who's going to run and sprint in behind. He's not that type of player.
But we see the same problem on the second goal. Casemiro fell on his face. There's a lot of space in behind. And actually, what Xerxes is doing, he's taking up Casemiro's space.
No.
He can't play in the ball. It's impossible. He will lose the ball right away.
Listen.
So this is a big problem. How we approach this game.
Jarvis, I'm sorry. You cannot blame Xerxes.
No, I'm not blaming Xerxes. I know about Xerxes. I know what he is. I know he's the 9.5 or whatever you want to call him.
What do you want to tell from this?
But we need a focal point.
No. Yes, but Jarvis, the Manchester are not being playing with a focal point. We're playing with Mason Mount. So for me, that's the tactics of the manager. That comes back to Ten Hag. All roads lead to Ten Hag. All of them lead to, because he doesn't change anything. Even tactically, you've seen the amount of times Jurgen Klopp, Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, something's not right. They react and change it. They close up certain things. They get instructions. Even you got coaches who write stuff down and pass it on when they come on to tell the players where to be, where to go. Here, one of the biggest things, what you want to show, but what you see here is how many players are around, right?
Yeah.
So you got one, the one who
One,
gets the
two,
two,
three, four,
three,
five,
four. What's
six.
that? A trap. That was happening from fucking minute 1, minute 2 to 90 fucking 5 minutes. They were hunting because they knew the ball is here and everybody runs away. Let's have a look at the picture more widely. This is our fullbacks. So, Alessandro Martinez, there's the lit.
This is the white picture.
Yeah. So that is there in that over there. That's Alessandro Martinez. That's the lit. That is Diego Dalot. Sorry, out wide. That's the lit. That's Alessandro Martinez. Look here. Look here. That are both right backs. Well, right back is already on the move. And I've got a different photo to show of you here exactly what happened. I think it's 6. I think one of the goals.
Bring it up. Bring it up, Norton. Let's see it. Let's see it.
6 Liverpool players. 6 Liverpool players against. So let me show you 1 second.
Yeah. Bring it up. Because this is interesting for me, you know. Everybody can say Ten Hag is tactically inept and stuff like that, but this is the details. This is the details I want to talk about.
He's so inept. It's unfucking believable. I swear to God. He sends players out there. Like, honestly, it's embarrassing. And nothing's going to change. He sends players out there. And in this game, in a game like this, and it's so fucking embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. This is what we were finding ourselves. We was finding ourselves like this. Look, this is one of the goals. I think this might have been the one of the goals, right? And I think here Salah gets played.
It's the first goal.
So Salah gets played here, right? So look, I want to be able to count. So I want to be able to count. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 1, 2, 3, 4, and he is beaten anyway. He's beaten because here Mazraoui is already drawn to this guy here. Mazraoui is already drawn to this guy here. So this guy here is already did him. Like Diaz is already knows where to be, right? He already is knows where to be. And it's exactly the same thing as the Brighton goal. Overload. They created an overload, and by the time the ball got to Salah here, he just whipped it in. 2 centre halves here. Mazraoui is absolutely because he was already on the move. Mazraoui was already on the move. So now he's having to change to get back. And then here we see the sprinters. I don't know who this is. I know that's Kobe, and I know that's Rashford. I don't know who this guy is here. I don't know who that guy is there. But I know that's Mazraoui is there. I think that's Diego Dalot. But here are the 2 centre halves. Salah gets the ball, Szoboszlai, but both Szoboszlai and the goal scorer here, Diaz, bam, run into the back post. They get in each other's way. They're literally queuing fucking up. Because in the way that we were playing out, he was already in his way. He was already on his way. And these two, and we were going with Casemiro. We were going with Casemiro, right? So that is where he played that ball. The ball didn't land. And then, boom, because everybody was safe. And the distance between them. So Bruno ran away. Kobe was already running. Everybody was already. The distance was so much. So when that pass went wrong, Liverpool, bang, bang, bang. And within 3, 4 passes, within 20 seconds or less than 10 seconds, the ball.
Isn't this the first offside goal? I think when Gravenberch turned with the ball and ran at us. Yeah, that's it's the offside goal with Gravenberch.
Here, look at this. Here, one pass that was played.
Van Dijk.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's already gone because he's already turned, and he can play in here and there and connect. So 6 players with 1 fucking pass. Look at the gaps between now and Manchester United players. 1 pass. Already you could see. Yeah, that's Konsa. Here's Van Dijk. Plays the ball here. Gravenberch, McAllister, close, always close to each other. when they're in a build-up play, these two guys are not that far away from each other, right? King here. What do I always call it, people? It's the one of being the most consistent thing ever under Eric Ten Hag's tenure. It's called shadow fucking pressing. I coined it a long time ago. Here, no fucking urgency.
Yeah,
No.
we press straight on. Bruno could have picked the side and cut the pitch in half, so we could press from one side. But we are pressing right on. That's a big problem.
Yeah, here he runs straight at the fucking ball. Xerxes, nothing. Rashford, nothing. And here, that Paul can be played in here. Boom. 2 players there. Look how close they are. Anytime in their build-up, they're always in line. There's 2 in line. In any of their build-up, there's 2 in line. And Robertson is coming to come short here, right? I think that here, this guy here is Gravenberch. Here on that side there, Salah's coming, you could see, because I told you before, they didn't play expansive wide football. They literally played more inside. They played very inside Liverpool. And
they did.
Look, the guy who's bumming forward there, who's free, and if that ball gets to him, it's Alexander Arnold. And yet again, because we're so getting drawn into the fucking bullshit ball without a proper intensity, he's free, and it would be 4 against 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what it would be. And that's Liverpool. That's what Liverpool were doing. Here, I wanted to show again, Casemiro doesn't give the ball to him, because the football that we want to play, Xerxes wants to play, is to connect. He don't play the ball to him. He carries it on. He gives it to Bruno. Bruno runs here, right? I don't know where I've done with the other photo. Xerxes then actually, for once, Jarvis, gets in between Van Dijk and Konsa.
I know,
right?
I know this
Only
situation.
time, So the only time he gets here, Casemiro actually plays the ball here to Bruno, right? He plays it here to Bruno. For the first time ever, he was thinking, you know what? We're at their back 3. So he does what you were asking him to do. He runs into the space between these 2 here, and the ball, all this space is here for Bruno to play the ball there. Bruno instead decides to play Rashford. The ball gets intercepted, we lose possession, they go on a counter again for us. But I wanted to show Liverpool, right, what they're like when they have the ball, Liverpool, right? I wanted to show what Liverpool were like when they in their build-up in the midfield. And the big difference between our midfield and their midfield. Look, McAllister and Gravenberch, where are they? Not too far away from each other. So, and then Szoboszlai was the one that's like almost like the number 10 to go and help. And you could see here, he's making the run. He's on the ball there. He's making the run. And he is the one that's matching. So we got 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jota making the run. Jota, he made a brilliant run.
And he goes into the spaces, right? But look. If they were to lose the ball, where are they? Look how they set. Look how they set. 1 extra always. I don't know who that is, but that's there. And they got him here. So they've got covered. Because these 2 here are always in the central areas. Again, Liverpool on their attack. I don't know what's going on here. They squeeze again. They're not too far from each other. I don't know who's coming back here. And look how many players they've got in our box. 1 behind there, 2, 3. Salah is in all that space. And then 4, 5, 6 in all. He's on the edge of the box, but they've got 5 in the box. Yep. That's how a team attacks. It connects. And that's the big difference between Liverpool and Manchester United. We only have 1 or 2 or 3 players at the most in any time, any given time in the box. Liverpool are much better because they play with more. They recycle it. They'll go one way and come back the other. They've got more patience on the ball. We go helter-skelter. The pass doesn't come off. We get transition done. And then we're open wide spaces. Right? Let me see. Again here. Look. 1, 2, 3. Or they always attacked us in 5s. And they actually trusted their players to protect. So they've got 3 here. 3. Right? They've got 3 looking at 2 here. Yeah. And then they've got 1. Rashford there is on that side. But look at the space here. Look at the space here. Look at the amount of space. And actually, if they get that ball to Salah, boom, It's another thing that's happened. It's another goal. But look here. Manchester United are what are they doing? What are Manchester United doing, please? I want you to understand, and I'll go back to the other pictures. Manchester United are always running backwards. They're always running.
I agree.
You can see the number. You can see the number. So please bear with me, people. You can see his number. 4 players. You can see the number. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see the number. And that's what we're always at. And look here where the ball is 2 against 2. That is murder she wrote, right?
Well, it's a principle in defending. Someone needs to go out and press. Okay, you can track back if you don't have any press on the ball carrier, but someone needs to take the responsibility.
This is the Salah goal. The person that was robbed of the ball was here. The ball was robbed of for the Salah goal. It's exactly similar. The ball was robbed.
It was Mainu. It's Mainu.
Mainu. 2 of them pounced on him. These 2 here pounced on him. Mazraoui's up the pitch. Diego Dalot's up the pitch because it's the way we play out. So we at Manchester United are in control here, right? So we've got Dile Martinez, right? Diego Dalot is already facing the other way. Mazraoui is already facing the other way. We gave the ball to who? Collier is here actually, but he's also running back. But he must have been somewhere here.
Yeah, he was way higher up the pitch. I know
somewhere here. So the guy that we played to was Kobe. These 2 pounced on him, and look here. That's what I'm always trying to show you, people. I want to see the numbers. If you can see 1 player running back, 2 player running back, 3 player running back, 4 player running back. And how many have we got against how many? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Salah puts the ball here. By the way, the great Unana gives him the whole fucking goal to Aima, and he just puts it on this corner. So there we go. I want to go up again, show you the difference in their midfield, right? The difference when their Liverpool are in play, when they're playing out, when they're playing, they are playing to play in that phase. Look, 2 guys always in line. Somerslide, this can always connect because it's almost like a triangle. The Liverpool midfield always working in tandem. Here again, they're in the build-up. Where is McAllister? Where is Gravenberg? Look here, the lanes. Look here, the space for Somerslide. Look here. Always. And again, lost the press. Not a proper press.
But Murden, look at our defenders. Look at our defenders. How are they turning? They're turning to our goal. They're trying to track back. It's no front foot defending. There's no aggressiveness. You saw Van Dijk. He's on the front foot, ready to jump. We are not. They're
and
like,
here, look, everywhere where I look, Manchester United, you can always see the numbers. Everywhere where I look, you can see the numbers. We're not set here. We're not pressing here. Mazraoui's not going here. He's not being aggressive there. He's not being aggressive here. No, nobody's been aggressive. And when I show that, Liverpool, always. And another photo here, the last one for me. There you go. There they are again. Again, 1, 2, 3, running back. We're always like this, our players. Why? That is the tactics of the fucking manager. Nobody can ever tell me. Because you know what? I didn't even need the photos. I had it in my mind. I saw it. I saw players looking fucking confused. I saw players looking confused.
I think they went into
players are looking
mode. This is panic mode.
Yeah,
it's panic mode.
Players are confused, and when they look to the bench, you know who's just yeah. And you know what? I swear to God, I've been trying to find a little footage here, but there was one moment where he turns to Rude, and Rude does this. Rude does that. I'm sorry. I hope you can see, people. I beg you. I hope you can see. Even if you think I'm chatting rubbish, you cannot fucking deny we're always doing this. Manchester United play.
We're
always like that.
When we
We're
look
always
at
running back, mate.
when we look
We're
at it
always
tactically,
running fucking back
guys,
because it's the way the tactic is positional. You play football to a decent level, Jarvis. You told me you have, right?
Yeah,
Tom, I don't know if you play football. One of the biggest things is what are you doing with a ball? Where are you positionally with a ball and without the ball?
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I can compliment any Liverpool fans is that the variation of Jurgen Klopp with the ball and without the ball, and he slopped so far, touch wood. I mean, it could go wrong. I hope it goes wrong. I'm touching the wood to go wrong. Right? But so far, he has, when they lose the ball, he's always got the 1+. I did not see Robertson bombing forward like he would do at Anfield, like he was doing majority of his career. He literally was covering because, like Jarvis pointed out, the guy that was the most aggressive in their team was Van Dijk. Van Dijk was always ready to pounce. And guess what? Robertson was doing? Filling that space. I saw it with my own eyes. Going into that
That's
space.
That's what I'm saying, Dino. That's what I said before. When one player wants to lunge in, they cover back behind the other one. If then
what do we do, Tom?
Tom, what do we do? This is what I'm saying. We don't follow this system because what I'm saying is those Liverpool players, right, when they've been embedded in the system, they've basically worked together for like 5 seasons, most of that squad.
No, but Tom, can I say something?
5 years.
But Tom,
let me
Tom, I need to interrupt this. This is new for Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp
I understand that. That's
they
where
all
I was
went.
Get to.
They all went.
This is what I'm going to get
2
to.
against 2.
Dino.
They would leave
Dino,
and Van Dijk and Robertson and Trent were always up the pitch.
Dino,
but Arne Slot has, in the weeks that he's had with them already, coached that you don't go +1. You defend with +1 because you don't know when you're going to lose the ball in football. You defend with +1. And
Dino,
that's the difference. That's the difference. Everything
the
I
reason,
had 2 years and a bit. And Manchester United still fucking running back.
When we look at it with Liverpool, right, the reason why Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool averaged 2 goals a game was because they always had that extra man going forward. That's the reason why, because they either had it from creativity or they had an extra man running into the box to get on the end of the crosses that were coming in. That's where when you look at it from Jurgen Klopp's team, that's the reason why Klopp's team was so successful. But the only reason being why with that Klopp team was if they get fucked up or they lose the ball from a mistake, they do what we was doing, which was they all peg it back to their own goal. And you have Van Dijk and you have Kanate or Konza or whoever's sitting next to him. They just sit on the halfway line and they play halfway line football with 2 defenders. But the difference is Liverpool and Klopp took those risks in the game because they knew that they could outscore any team. They had the firepower up front where they have 6 players, 3 who play and 3 on the bench, and any of them can score goals. Any of them. So he takes those risks in the games. The difference with Slot is he comes from a different football brain and football factory in the Netherlands, which is you always have to adopt your tactics to the game that benefits it. So, for example, when you play against, say, Manchester United, where you know that you're going to get spaces in midfield, what do? Okay, you just play out from the wide areas. You drag them wide, like Diaz and Salah are brilliant at doing. You control the width areas, and then that opens the pocket of space where, Jarvis, what you just had up before with Liverpool, in behind our centre-backs, and there's 2 of them who are sat there on their own. It's night and day between the 2 teams, guys. And at the end of the day, we've watched Slot's done in the short time at Liverpool. And I agree with what Nurin's just said, where you look at how so compact they look. The reason why we're saying this with the compactness is because they don't have both fullbacks go forward anymore. It's one or it's the other. Trent, defensively, is fucking shambolic. He is shambolic as a defender. But going forward, guys, it's the best part of his game. So Slot, okay, we can't do that against Manchester United. We can't have players who are going to be defensively compromised because if you get in a one-on-one situation, they can do you. They're a quality team up at the end of the pitch. That's how they would think. So you just put your liability, let's say in this case, in Trent defensively, just push him all the way forward. Robertson's more astute defensively than Trent is. Would we all agree? So if you put him in at the back 3, it fits better. But what I said before, when Van Dijk flies in and he lunges onto players, or he just does it so that he's in your face, and you can't really turn on him, or you've got to play the ball backwards like a basketball. When you play a player like that with Van Dijk, Robertson swoop straight in behind where that space has just been left. The same thing with McAllister then. Okay, Robertson's come from left back to cover in midfield. Where do I go as McAllister? I go and cover at left back. And then if you have the space in midfield, okay, Salah or Diaz, come and open that pocket. And that's
But it's
what I'm
not only
talking
Liverpool.
about.
You see, for example,
Liverpool,
Manchester
yeah,
City
yeah.
are doing the same with Walker. He always cover
Jarvis. Forget these teams that are winning league titles, mate. Fulham do this, where they drop in or they cover one another if one lunges in. And if they lunge in, they either take a yellow card and take one for the team, or they end up leaving the space in behind, get done, but it's okay, a player's on the cover. As the way that Eric Ten Hag sets this team up, he does not have any players that go behind one another and cover. The difference is, if he spent this international break now, and when he gets most of these players back from the tour of the break, when they come back, all he has to do is just coach them.
But
with Ugarte now.
We actually had one when we had Amrabat.
No, yeah, as Amrabat, yeah. The only thing I'm saying though with Ugarte is probably going to be a massive plus than what Amrabat was coming into this team.
Let me just get the super chat. By the way, Ugarte ain't fixing shit. By the way, no other fan base in world football loves the savior or loves the scapegoat. And Ugarte ain't fixing shit. These tactics cannot be fixed by one player.
It's not going to be fixed by it.
The problem is Eric Ten Hag. Trust me on this one.
It's not going to be fixed by the tactic. Ugarte is not going to come in and suddenly fix all of it. What I'm saying is where McAllister was as that +1, that is where Ugarte's role is going to be in this team.
I'm not even sure. Tom, I'm not sure anymore.
If he plays him in the right way.
With Eric Ten Hag, I'm not even sure he's going to play that position. I swear to God.
If he doesn't, he's a dead man walking then, because he's got no more tools. He's got nothing left going for him, guys. What can he do? He can't do fuck all then.
I don't know.
He's not going to bring some kid through the academy. We've got no fucker left.
And Tom, you know the biggest thing, big up Alien Tenno, big up Pete, says Eric Ten Hag, Keystone Cops football, sack his ass. Big up to you if you know the reference, you know.
Come on, three games. Let's give him to Christmas. No. We agreed on this.
No. Listen, I actually wanted to say,
Christmas.
I need the Ten Hag in us. No. I need
it. 3 games.
Jarvis, I'm not saying sack the manager now. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you wait till the appropriate time. You use the proper time to put the plan in place. And remember what happened when they had no plan and they sent Ollie on holiday. Mm-hmm. A proper plan needs to be put in place. So whether it's Christmas, whether you give them the season, for me, everything that happens, I don't blame Eric Ten Hag anymore, Jarvis. Let me make this fucking clear.
Yeah.
The blame lies with Ineos. The blame lies with Ineos. That whole fucking review, and I posted some of the comments that, by the way, Barada and Ashworth will say, "Oh yeah, we didn't make."
They've distanced themselves. Yeah. They've not put their name.
I've got the quote, Tom. I've got the quote, bro. Don't you worry. Right. So I'll say, and people are like, "Yeah, they had to say that because if they would like, if it was them, then
from gardening league, they couldn't have anything. They couldn't be involved in Man United, so they had to say it.
I'm sorry, that's copium. That's copium.
No, it's true.
No, Jarvis, I'm sorry, Jarvis. You know it doesn't work like that. You know it doesn't. Officially, they have to say they had nothing to do with it, but you know it doesn't work like that. They were both consulted on a video fucking conference, and they made the decision. But then they have to come out in the press.
But you only read the quotes. Didn't you see his face? He was winking when he was saying it. I had nothing to do with it.
Well, if we think, guys, they're not going to compromise these contracts.
Let me just finish this point, Tom. Yeah. At the end of the day, is this: Ineos made this decision. To me, there was enough evidence to see last season, injuries or no injuries. 4 games of the season, 4 games to go in the season. Manchester United went, closed up spaces. They went to, whether they played mid-block, whether they were pressing high, whether they were doing low block. Manchester United as a team were like this. Not like this, not like that. Not 1-1-1-1 that I saw Not one further away from each other like that. No, they were like that. So Manchester United were like that. That's 5 players, 10 players. They were closer together, like that, closer together. And they moved together. Mid block, high press, low block. They moved. Low block, mid block, high press. They moved. They were like that. And he said, fuck off to that. I'm not doing that. He then invented some sort of bullshit box, right? And if you watch the game again, I beg any of you to go back and watch the Fulham game. First 25 minutes, Fulham were bopping us around that fucking part. They just couldn't connect on the pitch more. They were bobbing us. They were the better team in that 20. It took Manchester United 25 minutes to work out and go, shit, we need to actually outnumber them in midfield and make use of the box and actually press them and get the ball back in the right areas. Once we figured that out, we then did what we did. But then, the last 20 minutes, basketballification of football came. I saw, in the last 20 minutes, I saw Kobe. Actually, at times I saw Casemiro, headless, slow-ass pressing the fucking near the goal. Pressing the goalkeeper. So, I'm sorry. That is tactics from the manager. Players don't do that. Players actually natural instincts when you play football, when you're in the lead, you actually go, okay, unless we get a clear counter, we're gonna just defend and pull and pluck up the gaps. So for me, this manager can do the football that we want, but he did it in the last 4 games of the season. And now he's back to bullshit, basketball vacation, shadow fucking pressing, and 95 minutes as the lambs to the slaughter again. I told you from day one in the 7-0, I said, stop the bleeding. Change it. Don't wait for it to concede again after the first goal. Don't do it. Don't wait for it. They're going to go, bam, they score the second goal and the third goal are identical. And you know how many other chances they had? How many other chances they had? I was in the lower tier. Zaid was on the upper tier of the East End. I was on the lower tier standing. And I could see, I'm literally looking. I swear to God, it's not even that far away. It's like from here to my door, front door. The goal, I could see what was happening at the back of Onana's head. And you know what? It could have been. And Salah said after the game, I don't know if you heard the quotes, Jarvis, he said, oh, this game was so easy. I mean, he said, actually, it could have been 5 or 6.
It could have been, yeah.
And that is Erik Ten Hag summed up, people. And I swear to you all, I'm only blaming one group of people, and that's fucking Ineos. Not the players, not fucking Erik Ten Hag, the fucking Ineos. Because Erik Ten Hag does not make himself the manager of Manchester United. He does not. No. The players don't bring themselves. Ineos hold fucking tight. Go ahead, Jarvis. I'm gonna move.
Yeah. No problem. I just want to bring this up. There's 2 things. First thing first. This is the situation with the first goal when we had this misplaced pass from Casemiro. This is Kobe Mainu driving the ball forward. He chooses to play the ball inside to Bruno, but look on his outside. We have Dalot and we have Rashford, because this is the different angle than you saw on television. There's a lot of space. It should be an easy ball for Kobe Mainu to play the ball outside, but we don't. We play it inside. We play the ball to Bruno. Here you see Bruno, but he's surrounded by 1, 2, and there's 2 defenders behind him. So he's surrounded by 4 people, and Bruno takes the ball with his right foot. He doesn't scout. He doesn't look over his shoulder. He doesn't know what's behind him. But he still have an easy pass for Bruno to flick the ball out to Rashford or play the ball to Dalot. But he doesn't. He plays the ball into, let's go to the next picture. He tries to play the ball into Casemiro.
No, who plays it? And because Jarvis,
Bruno plays the ball to Casemiro, and now Casemiro, he sees Rashford. Rashford has been waiting for the ball for 2 minutes. And Liverpool are defending on the front foot. wins the ball and scores the goal. So for me, I think
Jarvis, can I just say one
not
thing?
on Ten Hag. The players
Jarvis, can I
should
say one
take
thing?
the
Jarvis,
responsibility
can I say
to
one thing,
learn to
please?
play the easy ball.
Jarvis, I
There's
want to
so
say
many
one thing.
options in this play.
Jarvis, I want to say one thing. I beg
Yeah.
you, please. I beg you, please. You can go back and do it again because I didn't interrupt you. But
Yeah,
one
okay.
thing. Ten Hag likes Casemiro on the fucking ball in the deep areas. That's what people do not understanding. He's the playmaker. He's the guy who playmates. So Bruno going to him is precisely because of the game plan. Give it to Casemiro. Casemiro is the guy he plays through. He plays through Casemiro. He plays through Casemiro. I don't know what you people not understanding. Why is it Casemiro getting on the ball? In the all 3 games, the guy on the ball is Casemiro. I can go and show you some more photos from the Brighton game. Casemiro is the guy they play through. And he's not that guy. He's not that guy. He can't make that pass. He can't.
Yeah, but
He can't.
the thing is, why
He
did
gives the
Kobe
ball
play
away.
the ball into Bruno in central area where he's surrounded by 4 to 5
No,
defenders?
but
This is
Jarvis,
an easy pass in the
but Jarvis,
20th
you know what
minutes
he
of the
could do?
game.
But Jarvis, you know what he could do? Bruno, other than getting it back to Casemiro, show the photo again. Show the photo again, please. Right? This is what Bruno could have done.
So there's Bruno.
Yeah. Bruno
Here's
could have played.
Casemiro.
Look. Bruno, it would have been easy to play who? That you like the arrow that you showed. There you go, Diego Dalot.
Flick the ball.
Diego
up
Dalot. And that's it. And that's it. We are. No, but they always build up. I beg you, watch Southampton. If he plays, watch Southampton. Casemiro, whoever's in that position there, is the person they want to play through. They want to play through him.
Yeah,
in that
we all
game,
saw it, and we all know what happened.
Casemiro lost the ball, Jarvis. I counted in the first half. I think it must have been I must have counted like 11 times or something like that in that first half. I'm sure it was more.
Yeah,
But
it was
again and again,
terrible.
Casemiro kept finding himself on the build-up when we're getting out, Jarvis. This is when we're getting out. This was our build-up. Actually, we played the ball. Kobe got on the ball, if you show the other photo. Kobe, so we played out nicely, actually. We played for once. We played out nicely. I think he might have been here, or he must have got it from there. He's actually got on the ball, and other than putting down here, he plays to Bruno. It's like they've always been told to play straight lines. It's weird. It's really weird because all of the players, Jarvis, they're always passing the ball in straight lines, not flicking it, boom, in his left foot out wide, where the space is.
Big point from Rance here. Bruno's supposed to be the 10, but he can't turn with the ball. And this is a big problem with Bruno. He's not good turning on the ball. He can flick the ball. He can do a lot of stuff, but that's a good point. So he's holding us back in a way. But then again, I'm not blaming Mainu because, Mainu, but he could have chosen the easier option.
No, I'm not blaming. He's a professional footballer. But I'm sorry, Jarvis. He's young. And to me, the age is not for today. But when you're coached, the way they Manchester United play is the way they play in when they're preparing for the game. You know that they do it, innit? You know that they do a practice run. You know, every team does that. Do you know that? Unless they don't have time, they do it on video. But they have a practice run. They get the youth team or they'll get a combination of the other players in the squad and they do this is how we're going to build up. That's how we're going to get out. And Casemiro is the guy they give the fucking ball to. They want to play through Casemiro. He's always on the ball. And that pattern of play that you showed, I swear next time United play and Casemiro's on the Jarvis, come on, you saw that loads of times. They always give the ball back to Casemiro. They always do it. They don't look and think, we've got 7 or 8 other players on the football pitch that we can play the ball to. Especially what's the point of having Diego Dalot and Masraoui? What's the point of them inverting? What's the point if you don't play the ball to them? No, the ball has to go back to Casemiro. And then he thinks he can make that pass. He can't make shit, mate. And I don't blame him because I swear to God, at Real Madrid, I just want people to understand. Big up Rance, by the way. At Real Madrid, they had Cruz, Modric, one of the best ballers, 2 of them generational talent in terms of their generation. Some of the best ball playing manipulators. Modric, Cruz can always find a pass. And Casemiro's job was in the certain areas, he was the trigger for their trap. He was the guy that jumps out. You know what you showed about what Van Dijk was doing to us in that game?
Yeah. Jumping.
Casemiro was the guy that jumps out, wins the ball, quickly gives it to Modric, or quickly gives it to Cruz. That's what his game was. And Casemiro's game has always been compactness. And the older you get, the more compact you need. But the distances from Manchester United midfielders, oh my Lord, it's not there. I'm sorry. It's not there. It's not there. And the manager knows it. And that's the one I want to come to, Jarvis, in our main argument between me and you, right? I understand why you want to me, like I said, I'm not blaming Eric Ten Hag. This is on Ineos. Because people don't want to have that uncomfortable. Because Ineos are the new toy in it. Everybody's like excited about Ineos. It's on them. Because the review showed it had nothing to do with fucking injuries. Because the reason why we got knocked out of the Champions League was basketballification of fucking football. It had nothing to do with injuries. Zero to do with injuries. And in a group like that, we finished fucking bottom by absolute miles. So, they changed their mind. Why did they change their mind? That's $1 million question. That's $1 billion question. Because we saw the Rat doing this. The Rat was doing this. Guess what the Rat was doing? Jarvis, the Rat was doing this. The Rat tried to watch it through one eye. Yeah, like that, right? And then he went like that. That's what Jim the Rat was doing in the stands. And in front of him, Jarvis, Barada, Wilcox and Asher, they're like that. Talking. Wilcox and Ashworth. And Omar Barada, the only guy who wasn't making any expression was Omar. Omar Barada was just like. And guess who was sat behind Jim the Rat?
I didn't see.
David Gill. And David Gill, when he was doing this, David Gill was like, what are you doing? David Gill, I swear, had the expression on his face to go, what are you doing? So
they did an evaluation for 6 weeks or something like that. They kept us waiting. Everybody thought he was sacked. The big journalist said he was sacked. Like the Italian guy, the day before the FA Cup final.
Yeah, they briefed it.
They briefed
it. Listen, at the end of the day, is that why did they change their mind? Because they do not rate this guy. This guy, the evidence is in. Year 3, and you, again, look, season 1, you allow him. You allow him the first season. First 3 games, he loses 2, wins 1. Season 2, first 3 games, he loses 2, wins 1. Year 3, he loses 2, wins 1. And it's not about the results. I swear on my mother's grave, I will be sat here defending Eric Ten Hag if I saw some things in the games and I could say, okay, we lost 2 games at the start of the season out of 3 because their goalkeeper of the other team made incredible saves. Actually, our approach play was incredible. And actually, the goals that Liverpool or Brighton or he scored were worldies. If they were like that, I'll be on here now having the biggest argument. Rants will be on here, and him and Saeed, and I'll be having a screaming match with them, saying, "You guys, I can see it. I can see it. I can see what he's trying to do." You know what I see?
I will bring you one positive from the game.
You know what I can see? You know what?
Okay.
1 minute, Jarvis. 1 minute. You know what I can see? I can constantly see this. Running back FC. Running
Panic
back.
mode FC.
Running back. That's all I can see. Like, that's all I can see. Let me go out of this. Let me show more. I have never seen football like this where players are all running back like this. Look. Nah, mate. I'm sorry. You play football, Jarvis. At times, football can be like a chess. Positionally. You know, in football, you have to hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. When you lose that fucking football, where are we? I swear to God, I used to scream that in midfield. Where are we? I was the biggest loudmouth when I played, right? And I would scream, where are we? Guys, where are we?
Playing midfielder isn't that hard, but you need to be a little bit tactical. You need to be a little bit smart
No,
in
Jarvis,
your
they have to be
movement.
closer to each other. And I said it from season 1, season 2, season 3, and I say it again. Playing this fucking when we have not got the ball, playing one person in front of the back, it's not working. Where everybody's up the pitch. And I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'll say it again, and I've said it all weekend. When Manchester United have got the ball, everybody runs. When for Liverpool, everybody always gives 2 options to the player on the ball. The player on the ball has always got 2 options. And that's when you know about space and time and cohesion.
It is.
And chemistry. Yeah. And Manchester United have fuck all of that. And year 3, Jarvis, for you to be sitting here going, where's the cohesion? Where's the chemistry? Why is everybody running? Why are 6 running? And then when the teams win the ball back of us, it's 5 against 2, 5 against 3, 4 against 3.
As I said in the beginning, I know why we did it. We wanted to create an overload. We want to create a numerical overload on.
But that's what we did, Jarvis. But what did we do? But Jarvis, what did we do? We helped Liverpool create their own fucking overloads.
But they trapped us. They trapped us.
And what was he
the players
doing?
didn't know what to do.
And what was he doing? What was he doing as a coach?
We did something in halftime. We put on Collier, and this is the last
and where
point.
Did he go again?
This is the positive. I just want to bring you the positive because Toby Collier, he's a baller. He's a really good football player, and he knows movement, and he can run. This is Toby Collier. Liverpool, Alisson had just passed out the ball because he was under pressure from Bruno, because Bruno was headless chicken pressing the goalkeeper. So Dalot takes down the ball centrally, or is it Martinez? I don't know. There's Collier. You see the next picture here. Collier is actually taking a run. Look at his arm. He wants the ball. This is Collier.
And this, by the way, people,
look at Collier. Bruno is coming back because he's been pressing Alisson. But look at Collier. His run creates space because now Liverpool's front foot defender need to do one thing. They need to track back because of Collier. Mainu crosses the ball to Collier. He heads it back because now we have suddenly created space for Xerxes. Xerxes takes down the ball and have a shot at goal. It was a good chance. So it's not that hard. It's not that hard. But you need to have the right players to do the right things.
And
so it's a positive.
I just want to say quickly, Collier in the preseason, he showed us that. In that preseason game, he was one of the best players on the football pitch. He was the guy that was a threat. He was making exactly those runs when they beat us 3-0, Jarvis. And actually, we played a lot better.
He's keeping his arm up.
He was making those runs exactly in the preseason, Jarvis. He was making, and by the way, people, this is like, I don't know, I think the minute, if you can see it, what minute is this in? This was towards the end of the game. This is
75 minutes or something.
This one, Liverpool started making changes. Here, for me, after 3-0, they had the cigars up. And Xerxes, the 2 misses from Xerxes, I don't think that would have done, because Liverpool, I swear to God, as soon as we went to 65 minutes, they put the gears right down. And they started making changes, and they were just toying with us. Toying with Manchester United. Toying with us. But he looked good. And there was a moment, I don't know if you got the photo, Jarvis, but he was on the ball.
This is Collier. Look at Rashford at the same situation. Rashford is here. Collier, he wants the ball, but he don't get the ball because Maino gets the ball. And then Collier instantly knows he needs to do something. He needs to create something. He moves. Look at Rashford. He's still in the same place. Collier has moved from here to here already, putting his arm up. Runs in behind, wants the ball, creates space for Xerxes. Liverpool defenders are tracking back. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard to run beyond. No. Listen, it's no. Individually, Jarvis, he's the good player. He's a good player. And there was 2 moments in the game, but one where the whole stadium went crazy. Is that he had the ball on the left-hand side, and 3 Liverpool players surrounded him. Rashford was like, so Collier is here, right? Collier is where Diego Dalot really be. Actually, he was up the pitch more. and Rashford is just there. So Rashford is with Trent. Rashford,
Yeah.
instead of opening his body up and saying here, because 3 players were chasing Collier won, and 3 players were going to surround him. Rashford is over there. Rashford don't say fuck all. Instead, he gets caught on the ball, and actually the ball, he goes down to the byline and loses the ball. And we were like, what the fuck is going on? And I look at this, and I look at every time, people, Manchester United, I'm sorry to say, but Eric Ten Hag, okay now, I swear to God, I saw the players' faces. They're all looking at each other going, and you know when your guy, the guy that the game plan is with Lisandro Martinez. By the way, and the other positive was the lit didn't look bad, even though he's not as quick as people make him out to be.
Yeah.
He's aggressive, and he took out one of their players. He took out Diaz. He proper took Diaz out right in front of my eye line. He took Diaz out, like took him proper out, but none of the goals were his fault. Martinez, the worst game in a Manchester United shirt, because Liverpool knew it was him and Casemiro were the 2 players Manchester United were going to use to play out. And both of them, I think he lost the ball 14 times. I've got some crazy mad stat, Jarvis. Maybe I can get it up. Let me just see if I can get it up. Right. The crazy stat is Manchester United lost the ball 90 times in that game, tried to play out from the back. I repeat, 90 times on our way from, and we're talking about the amount of times where Unana kicked it out. So all that's included, not just the passing, not try to pass it out. I mean, us as the team in possession, try to get into Liverpool's half through whether it's Unana or through playing the ball out 90 times. And you know how, guess in terms of percentage, give me a guess, how long do you think we're successful? Tell me, how do you think we were successful in terms of in the way that we press, Jarvis? In terms of
passes, accurate passes.
No, not accurate passes. How many times in percentage did we play out from the back and successfully go into Liverpool's half in percentage?
I don't know. I will guess 20%.
Wow, brilliant.
Is it right?
That is 20.3%.
Wow, that's terrible.
That's getting into their half. And I'm sorry, that is to do with the manager. I'm sorry, that is to do with the manager. When the opposing manager comes on the Sky television, right, in the UK, and is there next to Gary Neville, it's there next to Roy Keane and Sturridge asks him, what did you do? How was the game plan? And he said, we knew that they would try this box business, right? But we went central, we pressed their defenders, we know how they're going to try to play out, and we just went directly to goal. Because he knew Martinez, who was getting caught on the ball, one of the most in the back of our back 3, Martinez, who was getting caught out of the midfield players, Casemiro. Who has he been using? Who has Eric Ten Hag been using? Eric Ten Hag, philosophy on football is this, people. The players who he designates to play out, they have to be 99.99 something percent perfect. There is no such a thing as a player that's 99.99%. Eric Ten Hag football, Jarvis, and I say it to the people at the back, unless he changes it to the last 4 games, Eric Ten Hag's tactics, the way he played against Liverpool, and the way he's been playing, majority of his time, second season, especially last season, it's not compute. This is the worst league to try that shit. The worst fucking league. The worst league. Everybody's equipped with analysis. You know the difference between the bottom half of the table, the middle half of the table, and the top half of the table is this. You know what it is? Everybody's got available to the same sort of analysis. Everybody's got the same diet. Everybody's got the same amount of TV money now. Because in Spain, it's only Real Madrid and Barcelona that get the big wages. In the Premier League, everybody gets the big wages. So here, the fastest, the most physical, the most robust league in world football, you think you're asking Casemiro to do something Casemiro has never done in the last decade or whatever since he's been playing for Real Madrid. You're asking him now at this later stage of his career for him to do something that he can't do, that he's not been used to in the most physical, in the most intense, most fucking rushed about football, and then you leave him alone.
Yeah, but
You leave him all alone.
Casemiro is one of the most decorated players through history in football.
Yeah.
And he should know the basics. For me, I'm questioning his basics sometimes when it comes
if you
to
worked, I'm sorry, Jarvis. If
open up
I worked,
space for yourself, not coming into crowded situations. I will show you this. I know I'm sharing
Jarvis,
a lot.
I'll say this to you, but Jarvis, I'll say this to you before you say that, just to answer that question.
Yeah,
I would take it, but I know who's coached by, and I know what he's been asked to do. So I don't blame him. I do not blame him. I do not blame Casemiro. And you know what? He came out. You know Andy Mitten.
Yeah.
Andy Mitten.
I know
Mitten.
Yeah.
Right. Andy
Andy
Mitten.
Mitten, yeah.
The club. Most people don't know this. The club used Andy Mitten to interview Casemiro because Andy Mitten is multilingual. His actually wife is Catalonian. She's Spanish, so he speaks fluent Spanish, and he actually speaks Portuguese as well. Some Portuguese. Andy Mitten. The club used Andy Mitten to do the interview in-house when we signed him. Andy Mitten is close to fucking Casemiro. He was talking about Casemiro in his first season. What a wonderful guy he is. The quote came from me. We rang them and said, we can fix this. This is what Casemiro said. We saw what the Brentford game. We said, we can come over there, him and his agent, we can come and fix this, right? Andy Mitten said, last season, he said, this is the truest words. He said, this came from the mouth of Casemiro. Andy Mitten said it on I don't know if you know the Devil's podcast, where it's Carl Anka. You should look it up. So it's Carl Anka.
Okay.
Yep. It's Laurie Whitwell and Andy Mitten. And I don't know the other guy, something called Ian. 4 of them, all journalists.
Okay.
All of them, it's called Devil's Podcast, right? On the Devil's Podcast, Andy Mitten said Casemiro last season already said that the tactics of Eric Ten Hag exposes him, and he does not like the tactics of Eric Ten Hag. And that's what I'm saying to you. So when if he kept his mouth shut, I'd be like, oh, I'm projecting into Casemiro. But everybody in their nan, if you've ever played football or watched football, can see how exposed he is. You cannot expose him. Real Madrid never exposed him. But Manchester United think they can go and expose him in the Premier League. Are you taking the piss? Show me. Go ahead.
Yeah. The thing is, it's basics. I used to play a central midfielder, but you were always in the double pivot because you always play the 4-4-2, especially at the lower levels, like the third level and second level and stuff like that. But what I used to do, I always made a deal with my partner, central partner. So what we used to do is always, let's say we are trying to play out from the back. Our goalkeeper plays the ball to the fullback. If Mainu and Casemiro is in the central pivot, usually it's something like this. You have the 2 attackers and you have the 2 midfielders pressing here. What do you want? If you want the ball from Dalot into Mainu, you don't want the ball directly. You make a deal with your partner that you will open up space for him. So Mainu needs to track up and drag his defender with him. The Casemiro needs to do a shimmy this way and run into this space. It's not that hard. And then you have maybe 1 second, 1.5 second time on the ball to do something with it. Maybe this Rashford goes in or Bruno drops down. So it's not that hard to create space, but you need to be clever. You need to have a deal with your...
Jarvis, to make it realistic, bring the back 4 closer. So people can understand fully.
But
so
this
bring
is
the
just
back
basics.
four.
I'm just telling you.
For that to work,
I did this all my life. It was super dead easy.
I understand that.
You do a shimmy and then drops into the space.
I understand that. But please just bring the back 4 out a bit more. So these the 4 the back 4 here, move them. So move them so that it looks realistic. Yeah, that's all I would say. Because here you know what space to work for then. Because if that player, if you get the ball, so you are the trigger. So the Rashford then would have to go, give you even more space, and Kobe is even have to go more. So then the number 2 would go with him. Then Kobe then can even give you more space. And if you're a ball player, which Casemiro is not, Casemiro would have more time on the ball, Jarvis. That's how it works. In football, when you've got the ball, you try to create space, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right?
You want to create space. So you need to deal with your partner. Create space, drop into that space, and receive the ball.
Yeah, and when you lose the ball, you try to construct the space.
Yeah,
you're trying to stop.
Yeah,
the
then you
yes,
compress.
And that is and Eric Ten Hag does not have a fucking clue about contracting. There is nothing coming because 6 players, 7 players at times, Jarvis, are up the pitch, and we lose the ball.
Yeah, it's true.
But people, how many likes we got on the video? We've done nearly 2 hours.
166.
We're not even on 200 fucking likes.
More
and
people.
we're nearly 260 people watching. We're not even 200 likes. Shame on you. Honestly, shame on you. Jarvis,
okay.
if you can bring the thing back up, I can show you what we used to do, how we used to play out. Right? If you can bring the thing back up. If you can bring the thing back up, right? So exactly this what would we do. But when I played, the fullback, can you see it? Can people see the arrow?
No, we can't see your movement. So you just need to share it yourself.
Yeah. So have you shared it? No.
I'll send you the link and you can share the tactical screen. Yeah, I will do that.
Yeah. So basically, I'll show you what we used to do.
Put it in the private chat, and now you can press the link and share the screen.
Oh, unfortunately, it's the empty one. I don't know why it's always going to the empty one.
Oh, yeah, because you're not logged in. You need an account, but yeah.
I think I've already done it. Yeah, I've already done it. So basically, Jarvis, what we used to do, obviously, we played English football, so we never really tried to play out from the back. But what we used to do is, if the goalkeeper would have it, we would all push up. You know what I mean? Everybody will push up, get out. So everybody will get out and push up.
I shared another link. Try that link. I did. Now I just.
This one here?
No. The link in the private chat.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
I shared it. Now you can, if you press now, you can see my tactical code.
Yeah. Perfect. So we would usually. So the
add
goalkeeper's
it to the screen. Add it to the screen.
Okay, let me just add 1 second. Sorry, Jarvis.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. People have patience. They're waiting.
Share the screen. There we go. So we played obviously in England. This is in the 90s. Yeah, when I started playing football, we would, if the players were back here, right, the other team, this what would be, they would play about here, right, and we would all go up. So they would drop here. But what we used to do, Jarvis, is that both me and the other midfield that I used to play with, it was about the second ball, right? So the only times he would play the ball out, right, is if, Jarvis, was that he would play the ball out if the wingers were always halfway line, if the player was free. So if the player was free, right, he would always play the ball out. So if everything was there, we would try to go for mainly the goal kick, right? So we would go here. Right, the 2 midfielders here.
Yeah.
These 2, the number 10 will be here. We always try to keep the width when we have the ball down. But obviously for the goal kick, though, depending if he's taking the goal kick from here or from that, you go lopsided. Do you understand? People would go lopsided. So if the goalkeeper's about to go to take the goal kick, everybody goes whatever way he's shooting. You're either lopsided this way or you're lopsided that way. That's how football is. Everybody moves across. Everybody moves across this side, wherever if he's taking it from here and he's going up here, everybody moves across here. If he's taking it from there, everybody moves across here. So what we would usually do, right, is that people will be getting up here, and the only time is that if the winger didn't show. Our left back was quite decent, yeah. So the only time he would ever throw the goalkeeper will throw the ball out, right? Is if their winger didn't engage, right? Didn't engage. If he was still here and everybody's waiting, then he would do a quick throw out, right?
Yeah, that's the 3-man.
Yeah. Then we would just drop them. Both of us will drop because just in case we lost the ball, right? They would drop. So they would stay here in the line. So he would be able to play the ball here, right, to us here. I usually used to pick up, and then they used to try to engage, but the striker always used to spin off into here, and I would just turn and dink it over the top. That's what our tactic. But if the goalkeeper played a goal kick here, right, we all went. So
you did like post goals used to do.
Yeah. I used to just dink the ball because our striker was really good. John, big up Johnny. If you know Johnny, I played with him in school as well. He would always make the run. And I used to just dink the ball. I would drop deep to dink the ball. And we would then make sure, Jarvis, that when the ball is going up, we would be here. So I always, soon as the ball, because I used to hate the ball, like heading the ball in winter specifically, I would always be prepared to pick up the scraps, right? So I expect their centre half to hit it. So the ball would be going like that. Their centre halves would hit it. You know what I mean? Putting it down, and both of us then would squeeze it. Squeeze. And then the back four always knew. We would squeeze to battle, to duel for the second ball, right? And they would always then also like get a bit closer. And that's how we used to play it. That's how we used to play it. That's how we used to play in midfield. Always communicating where we are positionally. And at times, seriously, when everybody's up the pitch here, let's say one of us goes, the other one stays. That's what it used to be, Jarvis. One of us goes, the other one stays. And then as soon as we lose the ball, everybody, I used to just scream here, where are we? Where are we? And then everybody would come back. Sometimes we try to play offside, or the other times we just used to okay, buy time, stop them, buy time. Like, don't dive in yet, but buy time. Till everybody else gets back in. That's what we used to do.
Interesting.
That was
back in the days. I think football has evolved
massively. But to be fair, there were certain teams still playing out from the back and playing and that. There were teams that were doing that. Not all. Like I said to you, Saturday, Sunday league, the way that we played was challenged. The biggest thing about English football was that dueling. You duel for the ball, Jarvis. It's the second ball. The first ball, second ball, it's the duels. That's where it came out from. It's the duels. You had some technical footballers in midfield who can go past one or two players. You most likely on Saturday, Sunday league level, you win the game because he can isolate and then boom, he's already gone. You know what I mean? But the tactics to professional football is totally different to the tactics at the lower level.
You have a question from Freedom Journey comes in and say, did you ever get a red card? One
time I came close. He smiled at me. He said to me, what card do you want? I'll never forget that. He's actually a friend of mine. It was their dad. It was his dad. A friend of mine who I knew, I used to play football against for other teams. It was his dad who was the referee. And he said to me, come here, son. What card do you want? And I said, not a red. And he gave me a yellow. But I had the longest legs ever. I had energy. Boy, oh boy. ADHD kid playing football. They used to go, well, he never gets tired. How come you never get tired? You know, the players I used to play against, they're like, you never get tired. What are you on? I would just keep beat me, do a skill drop out, do a step over. But my biggest thing was I get the most satisfaction from passing the ball, even scoring a goal. I would get more from passing the ball. When I won it, I looked up and passed it. Sometimes if the space was in front of me, even I didn't want to drive in it. They used to go, drive. English football, every level is communication to go, space, you got space, drive. I just think, I'm like, what's the point of me running? I'm going to have to be running back, so what's the point? Think it. If the player's already open, Johnny used to go, shoulder. Johnny used to do that spin, big up Johnny Moore, used to do the spin in behind. or find the wingers. But yeah.
But actually playing football for yourself, and I know a lot of these people in the chat, all of them have great football knowledge, and you have to know the game. You have to play the game yourself to actually know details of the game. So it's interesting hearing, and I think you can drag parallels even to the Premier League today, even though they are next level quality, but still the basics are the same.
Yeah, the ball is still, it's 11
Yeah.
against 11 on a football pitch.
It is.
Ball's still round. The ball is still round. No, I was nowhere near like that, Diaby or Pogba. It's very difficult for me to describe the type of player I was. I was more rugged and physical like Patrick Vieira. But obviously Vieira was unbelievable up the pitch as well. But defensively, I had those long legs, really long legs. I was better in terms of defending than Pogba. I was more physical, like getting into that sliding and like hustling to win the ball back. I was more of a ball winner who had a pass in him, who couldn't think the ball.
Yeah.
That's what I was. I wasn't a dribbler. I wasn't really no. That was not my game. And I used to hate headering the ball because England is so cold. The ball, cold, head, balled.
Would you say you were more like
I used to always want to get the ball down. So say that again. Was I like Yaya Toure? Is that what you said?
Were you more like I would say Yaya Toure?
No, Yaya Toure. Yeah. No, Yaya Toure was two. They are a lot better. Those type of players were a lot better up the pitch than me. I could pass, but those guys, Yaya Toure could take people on drive and go through. Pogba, Diaby, the same. All those guys can do amazing, like on the ball. I was more of a like passing the ball, hunting it down, and then I could play the pass. Like to the number 10, to the strikers. My favorite thing was always I could dink that ball over the top of the defenders into space. And I always played with a fast, like really lightning, like for that level, fast strikers. No, like I'm coming to feet. No, I could never play. My game would have been shit if I played with like the Xerxes kind of guys or players who would be like, oh, I'm coming to the ball. No, I never played with players who could come to the ball. I had guys who would always run into space because at that level, defenders would always just be like, So always the space in behind, always.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Kante, but I was 6'4", 6'4" Kante who doesn't get tired, and who can dink a ball, especially over any back four. I used to get so angry if I got it wrong. Oh my God, I used to get really, if I did it 3 times and the defenders won it, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me today? How come I can't play this pass? Yeah. Yeah, and the guys who were playing, but I remember one time I played against the best midfielder I've ever played against. And he will look like a guy, if you ever saw him, you would never in your life think he was a footballer. I'm talking about this chubby.
Yeah.
I'll never forget him. I will never forget him. Never forget him. Honestly, this player, blonde, kind of like wavy hair. It's like he looked like the kid that never gets picked, in school, who was always eating the chocolates. And he's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh my God, this guy could play. The ball got flipped to him, right? Me and him, so I'm like getting against him. He literally controls the ball, then flicks it over my head. And I'm quite tall. He done it in one movement, controlled it, then flicked it in one movement. And then he got the ball down between his legs and then did the step over like that. Dropped the shoulder. I still remember it to this day, and I'm like, I didn't even look at him. I looked at my teammates.
Well, you had a couple of players like that back in the days. You remember, for example, Jan Mulby, the guy at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Is he Norwegian or Danish?
No, he's Danish, but he was brilliant on the ball. Slow, bulky, but whenever he was on the ball, he was all the time in the world.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it was. And if you're in Manchester, I played for Woodhouse Park, I played for Flixton, and then I played for, towards the end, my knee gave up. Played for Fletcher Musk, which is the club that found Rashford and West Brown.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Did you ever play against any ex-United players or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. West Brown. Yeah, West Brown. Yeah. Until
West
Fergie
Brown.
found out. Until Fergie found out and was like, nah.
Was he any
One
good?
thing though, West Brown. Oh my God. Anytime we played with him, he was built like a brick. West Brown was so good. Honestly, everybody from our area was like, he's gonna make it. Even when we were young, everybody was like, because you know that not that he was amazing, right? Like skill-wise, whatever, but the level, how strong he was. Once he got the ball, you couldn't get the ball back off him. Like, yeah. I saw his brother actually, Clive. I saw his brother, Clive, and now he's West Brown's nephew are playing. One is at Liverpool, I think. The other one's at United, I think.
Okay, really?
Yeah. So they try to make it at the youth levels.
The best ever player I ever played against was I don't know if you remember him. He used to play at Blackburn. Morten Gams Pedersen.
Oh my!
He played he played in the Norwegian league, but for his second team then. We lost.
Wow.
I don't know. I think we lost 4-0, and he was like crazy. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, the left foot,
so good.
The left foot, blonde hair, left foot.
He's actually
Is
right.
He's a right foot.
He's a right footer, but he trained himself to be good on the left foot. That's the crazy thing.
Some of the goals he scored, Jarvis, in the Premier League on his left foot. I just remember him whipping it into top corners. He was unbelievable, Jarvis, in the Premier League. And at that time, the Premier League, people can come at the back of you and not even get a yellow card. He was a tough kid. Tough kid. Very skillful. What was he like? What was he like? What position did he play when you played against him?
He played the winger. He played winger. Ultra fast, good on the ball. He had a shot like so strong. Yeah. Physicality. But he was young back then. I think he was like 16 or 17 when I played against him. Yeah.
Well, I remember it's the blonde hair, the little quiff. Blonde hair, but he could shoot that guy. He scored some fantastic goals. West Brown, and then he would play in like 5-a-side with us. Then Ferguson found out, and then he wasn't insured to play with us, so he couldn't play with us.
Morten Gams Pedersen, he nearly came to us at Man United.
He could play. Guys, we are 8 short of 200 likes.
Smash
Jarvis,
the like.
how was your trip?
Oh,
your chat was the best, by the way. Your lines was the best. I'm in Prague. The night is young. The ladies are fine. And it's all to play. How was your time? How was Prague, Jarvis? Did you have a good time?
I don't want to give you any details, but it was a crazy trip. Yeah, it was funny.
It was a great. Were the people nice? No, you have to give me the details. Were the people were nice? The people were nice. Well, did you see a lot of British stag do's? All the British people, they go there. You know, when the guy's getting married, everybody goes to Prague.
Okay. No, I can't say I did. I can't say I did.
To go on the pub crawls. So many people in Britain, they go to Prague. Prague is one of the most destinations because of the beer. So if a guy's getting married, everybody goes there.
Well, I don't drink beer. I only drink Prosecco.
There you go. See, only the good shit. Only the good shit for Jarvis. None of this beer. But yeah, people, how many likes we got? Let me see how the percentage of you have liked the video. Let me see how many percentage of you. Let me just have a look.
197. So 3 more likes, people. 200.
So basically, 14% of the people watching have not liked the video. 14% have not liked the video. 14% have not liked the video. Shame on you. Oh, you played with Jermaine Pennant 5-a-side football before you played in the Premier League. And he was not the best player. Wow. Oh, yeah.
Pennant, that's the guy who went to Arsenal first and then to Newcastle. And,
Liverpool. He played for Liverpool. Pennant. He played for Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool. Yeah.
He played for Liverpool. Yeah. He won the Champions League. He won the Champions League. Yeah. He won the Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't he have a fortunate career? He had some problems.
Let me just educate Jerome Williams. Sorry, Jemison Wills. Sorry. See, this is how dyslexic I am. That looked like Jerome Williams. Jemison Wills. There is no such a string of food that's feminine. In terms of food, you cannot prescribe masculinity and femininity into food or alcohol. There is no way. But whatever makes you happy, my friend.
I would say strawberry daiquiri is a little bit feminine, but that's just me. Strawberry daiquiri.
Hey, let me say something to you, right? No person or no human being can ever run away from femininity. You were inside a woman for 9 months. The person that made you, the person that made you, feminine energy and masculine energy exists within all human beings. Everybody.
Yeah.
The idea that as men we run away from feminine. A woman gave birth to us for 9 fucking months. We ate what she ate. We drank what she drank. We were cocooned in her stomach. How dare we talk about women?
Yep. Am I alone? Yes. So I think that wraps up the show. We have 201 likes, so we'll thank everybody for hitting that like. After the show, remember, go and leave a comment in the non-live section. And I will say thank you to Sheikh Aryan, Vern Wright. Who else do we have? Lala, Rashid, Jamie, Wayne, the legend, the moderators, Lincoln. All of you staying with us for 2 hours, 10 minutes. What a show. What a show. I would say Mumsy TV, big up Nuruddin, watching from Miami, big up Mumsy TV. So it's been a great show. It's actually quite funny to like break down technical stuff. I hope it wasn't too much, but me and Nuruddin have been talking about doing some tactical shows now from this season. So stay tuned and it will be fantastic. United Rules comes in and say big up Jarvis and Nuruddin. I don't know if I can end the show, but let's just do it anyway. So I would just say thank you everybody for watching. Leave a like, a non-live comment, and we will see. Oh, Nuruddin is jumping on again.
Yeah, big up. Sorry, Jarvis. Something went.
Non-live comment, and we will see. Oh, Nuruddin is jumping on again.
Yeah, big up. Sorry, Jarvis.
Yeah, I was just trying to end the show.
Apologies. Something went wrong. It's like Andrew Tate kicked me out. Andrew Tate kicked me out, people, and I couldn't get back on. Honestly, it's like StreamYard. It's like all that feminine talk. Get the fuck off the show. It is what it is. But people, I just want to thank Jarvis for stepping in tonight for the 40 seconds or how long it was. And big up to Tom. Just to say, yeah, something new, people. And we'll talk about the game tactically. Sometimes we'll have photos, sometimes we wouldn't. But sometimes we'll get the tactical board out. But yeah, big up Jarvis. Jarvis is a tactical. Make sure you follow Jarvis at Bowley77. And make sure you check him out, Man UFC Realist TV. 9 o'clock on Mondays, Jarvis Corner. I'm your host, Mr. Structure, on Twitter, if you can find that as well. And make sure you can also find Tom as well. Please find Tom. Tom Journalist. Big up to everybody. Go and subscribe to Man UFC Realist TV. Make sure you follow Jarvis at Bowley77. Make sure you follow Tom at Tom Journalist 1. And yeah, being your host, I hope you got some of it. Next time, I learn from the tactical when Jarvis is explaining things. I need to get a pen and maybe write stuff down and not jump in, let him flow. That's for next time. But this game got me too hot. And if me being there, I saw it blatantly. Eric Ten Hag is fucking clueless. But I'm not blaming him. The blame is on Ineos. It's on fucking Ineos. It's on them. Nura, Muse, I'm going to Umrah on the 29th. Brilliant. Have an amazing time at Umrah. Those of you who don't know Umrah, it's in Mecca. And it's something most Muslims do in their lifetimes. You go to Hajj or you go to Umrah. And Shakarian is going to Umrah. Pray for everybody, especially for Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Tigray, Ogaden, anywhere in the world where people are oppressed. We always stand with the oppressed and stand against oppressors. Free fucking Palestine. And the British government, go fuck yourselves. We don't give a fuck about you. 8% of arms going to Israel. So 92% of the arms going to Israel. It's all good. You're cutting 8%. Get the fuck out of my face with that talk. You absolute genocidal maniacs. Britain, America, Germany, genocidal. All the genocide is not just Israel. It's in the hands of the whole West, but specifically Germany, Britain, and the US, who are arming Netanyahu and the psychopathic government in Israel. Win, lose, or draw. Free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan. Fuck the Glazers. Full sale only. Jim the Rat, get used to more of that. Good night, people.
Right. Peace.